This is part 5 of functions, and we're just working with function notation, continuing on. So we're going to take two functions, p of x equals 3x minus 2 and q of x equals x squared plus 1, and find some things. Let's do q of x minus p of x. How would we do this? Well, q of x is x squared plus 1 minus, I need to put this in parentheses, p of x is 3x minus 2. And now we do our regular old algebra, x squared plus 1. Now I have to remember to distribute my minus sign, minus 3x plus 2. So that gives me x squared minus 2x, minus 3x and then plus 3. And so there we have q of x minus p of x. All right, what if we wanted to find p of x times q of x? Well, same thing. You need to write p of x, which is 3x minus 2, times q of x, which is x squared minus 1. And now you have a binomial times a binomial. You can use the FOIL method. So 3x times x squared is 3x cubed. See, the outer term is plus 3x. The inner term is minus 2x squared. And the last terms multiplied is minus 2. And you could leave it like that, or I like to write things in descending order with the exponents. So you get this answer. All right, what if you're asked to find q of 2x minus 7? So we have to look at the formula, the rule for q of x. It says what? Take what's in parentheses, which is your x, square it, and add 1. So I'm going to replace my x with a 2x minus 7, right? So we'll have to write that 2x minus 7 in parentheses, square it, and then add 1. Now we don't want to leave an answer like this. You're going to have to remember how to square a binomial. All right, so you could do this a couple different ways. You could write it as 2x minus 7 times 2x minus 7 and use the FOIL method. You can remember the formula. But in any case, when you multiply 2x minus 7 times 2x minus 7, you should get 4x squared minus 28x. Because if you do the outer and inner term, if you multiplied it out the long way, you'd have minus 14x plus 49. That's the 7 squared. But I also have this plus 1. So my final answer will be 4x squared minus 28x plus 50. All right, why don't you try this one? P of x plus h. Remember, we did this on the previous video. We're going to plug in x plus h for x. Try this on your own. So what do we have? Instead of x, we're going to write x plus h minus 2. Right? There's like 3, whatever's in the parentheses, minus 2. So we have 3x plus 3h minus 2. And that's as far as we could go. Now what if you were asked to do p of x plus h minus p of x? Try this one. I'll give you a hint. You've already figured out p of x plus h, and you're given p of x, so you should be able to plug those in and simplify it. Try it on your own. Okay, p of x plus h is what I have right here in the box. That's 3x plus 3h minus 2. Then it says subtract p of x. So I look up here, there's p of x, right? I need to put that in parentheses to make sure I subtract the whole quantity, p of x. So this gives me 3x plus 3h minus 2. And what's going to happen over here? Minus 3x and a plus 2. Now when you add all the like terms here, combine the like terms, you end up with simply a 3h. All right, so here's a tough one. Q of x plus h minus q of x. All right, so we're looking at q of x here, right? That's the formula, right? The rule. So you're going to have to figure out what q of x plus h is and then subtract that q of x. So try this all on your own. This takes a little bit of time and space. All right, so let's do it. Q of x plus h. Well, that means I have to plug in x plus h for x in the formula. So that's going to give you an x plus h squared minus 1. Right there, that's my q of x plus h. In fact, to make it simpler, I'm going to put this in a different color. Whoops, I'm sorry. I'm going to put this one in a different color maybe. Nope, I'm having trouble doing either of them. So I guess I'll leave it. Minus, technical difficulties, q of x is the x squared plus 1. Okay? So now I have to simplify this. X plus h squared. So you need to multiply x plus h times x plus h. You could do that on scratch paper and do the FOIL method. You'll get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. You also might know the formula for squaring a binomial, and that is the formula actually. Minus 1, right, there's that minus 1. And now I'm going to distribute this minus sign, so I have a minus x squared minus 1. All right, so now let's see what happens here. So I've got an x squared, I've got a minus x squared. 2xh, there's no other term to combine with that. I have a plus h squared, there's no other term to combine with that. And I have a minus 1. Oops, I just noticed a mistake. Q of x was x squared plus 1, so this would have been x plus h squared plus 1. Sorry, so that's a plus 1. So the 1 and the minus 1 did end up canceling. Of course, if I didn't catch that mistake, I would have had the wrong answer here. Okay, so that's a toughie, but this is going to be an important formula for you to be able to work with in later classes. All right, here's another challenging one for you to try. See if you could compute this. You're going to do p of negative x minus q of negative x. Try it on your own first. Okay, p of negative x means I'm going to plug in a negative x in place of that x. So I have 3 times negative x minus 2. That's your p of negative x right here, okay? Minus, now what's my q of negative x? I'm going to put a parentheses around it. I'm going to plug in negative x for its x. So I have to put in a negative x in for the x and square it and add 1 and then subtract the whole thing. So this big thing in parentheses is your q of negative x. Woo! All right, now let's simplify this. I have 3 times negative x, which is negative 3x minus 2. Now, before distributing my minus sign, I need to simplify inside the parentheses. What's a negative x quantity squared? A negative x times a negative x is just the same thing as an x squared. So I'm going to subtract that quantity. And now I need to distribute my minus sign. Minus x squared minus 1. Almost done. That'll be, let's see, I'm going to put it in descending order. Negative x squared, I have a minus 3x, and the negative 2 and the minus 1 is negative 3, and so that would be your final answer. One more. Right, this should be quick and easy for you. Try it. What is p of a plus h? Okay, what are we going to do? We're going to plug in a plus h for x. So I have 3 times a plus h minus 2, 3a plus 3h minus 2. Okay, so we've just done lots of problems where you're working with function notation using the f of x or the g of x or the q of x or the p of x, whatever it is. And on the previous videos we did it more with numbers. In this video we did a lot with variables, more interesting problems.